How she will bring all those qualifications to bear in her job?
No. No, what I'm saying is this.
Because I've seen people with a lot.
I'm amazed.
I've seen people with certificates and grammar, and they don't even know the meaning of democracy. Just in Edo State there, we had a governor who ruled for 8 years with only 10 members, and did not swear in for 14. And he went to all these grammar schools and all that. Let's concentrate on what she will bring to bear.
That's
and
it.
How those all those
Your Excellency,
how all those degrees will
Mr. President, can you give what you don't have?
into tangible benefit for Nigeria.
Mr. President, nobody can give what that person don't have. She has a background, and I'm sure, going by what she has done so far in the public service, she'll do more. And we need to encourage our women. Once they do well, we should encourage them. So our children at home.
We should encourage them also in Kano.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Our women in the entire country, we're encouraging them. Because this is an astounding pedigree. This nominee has an astounding...
When are we going to have the first elected female member of the Kano House of Assembly?
Well, when God wants that to be done, we believe we are people of faith. In Kano, we are 99.9% Muslims. So what God says, I'm a woman, we do it. Okay. We believe in God's time. You see, but it is always said that a golden fish has no hiding place. And when you see something, we'll say it.
Go ahead.
I was with you with Mr. President yesterday. He said he believes in people that have capacity. I can see why he decided to pay this nominee. She has the capacity.
I'm with you.
She has the capacity. And I have to strengthen this. We need to expose her more so that our girls, our women will learn from her.
I was there.
So that they will learn from her. Right? I'm not going to ask you a question. I just want to say so that our women will benefit from your kind of record. Will see your record, and so they will try to emulate you. And so please, once you are cleared and confirmed, please do in line with the way you started. You started very well from Queen's College to Cambridge to Boston. You've gone everywhere in search of education. Put that to use. Put that to use for the benefit of this country.
Exactly.
So that you join hands with Mr. President to bring prosperity to our nation. Exactly. I congratulate you.
Thank you. So, the president has shown the way by encouraging women. All I ask you is, in Kano, by 2027, let's have the first elected female member in the Kano House of Assembly. Let's start from there. Yes, the chief whip.
Tahir Monguno, I represent Borno North Senatorial District. Well, I associate myself with all the encomiums fought on the nominee as a result of the very rich resume before us. Having associated with that, I want to ask a question. I have carefully perused through your resume and the various contributions, your widow's mite that you have contributed towards the ease of doing business in Nigeria, which is one of the major cog in the wheel of our developmental aspirations. One of the reasons that drives away or discourages foreign direct investment in this country is as a result of the bureaucratic red tape and bottlenecks that is usually associated with doing business in Nigeria. I have seen you have been a special advisor on ease of doing business. You have been the secretary of that council. What have you done so far to attract foreign direct investment by way of ease of doing business? What mechanisms have you put in place for the purpose of achieving that? And leveraging on your new elevation to the position of minister, what again are you going to bring to the table to ensure that there is ease of doing business in this country, doing away with all the bureaucratic bottlenecks and red tapes, so that we will attract foreign direct investment to this country and grow our economy. Thank you.
May Allah bless.
She is a fit and proper person to occupy the position of the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, notwithstanding the combined effects of Section 147, subsection 1, 2, and 5, Section 65, subsection 2A and B. These nominees come with great potential.
Those sections they are quoting, are they relevant to what we are doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Very, very.
Read one of them. Read.
Okay, sir. I will read 147, section 1 and 2. There shall be such offices of ministers of the government of the Federation as may be established by the President. Any appointment to the office of the minister of the government of the Federation shall, if the nomination of any person to such office is confirmed by the Senate, be made by the President. 5 talks about the eligibility. It says, no person shall be appointed as a minister of the government of the Federation unless he is qualified for election as a member of the House of Representatives.
You've captured it. You are talking about the competence, capacity, and the qualifications. So,
yes, I will go to that, sir.
It's relevant to what we are discussing.
Yes,
so continue.
The fact that it's been around, when you look at his curriculum vitae, he's been around without any scandal, he's been contributing quietly to the development and progress of Nigeria. And we can also, my colleagues, they spoke about the capability. He went to some of the best schools. I can attest to it because I was there. I went to University of Lagos for my master's, and I did master's in international law and diplomacy. I can attest to the fact that the kind of training you receive will prepare you for the future. I was also at the Harvard Law School. I was also at Harvard Kennedy School of Government. I know.
Wait. People should not don't intimidate us here.
You were the one that asked, sir. So, because I was there.
Speak to this. You said you were there.
Also, when you look at our resume, you will also see that she's been involved, as it were, in WTO. WTO is simply the World Trade Organization that deals with the international trade and all these, what we're talking about, and she is going to be Minister of Trade and Investment. That teaches you that comparative advantage of states on what they should do, how you can export it when you have comparative advantage. It also teaches you the safeguard that is inherent in all those provisions. That because he has done all of that, she will be of great. She is a great asset. She's going to be a great asset to the Ministry of Trade and Investment. I am not surprised that she has been involved in all of this. I also want to tell you that she is from Sueno, family of Isaleko. That will say that she's going to be responsible. She will work without acrimony with our colleagues and also our staff and also the committee of Lagos. We are attesting to that she will be a good ambassador. She's been a good ambassador. She will continue to be a good ambassador, and she will continue to contribute effectively and to the progress and of this nation. I recommend Dr. Tumoke to the Senate and for confirmation. Please, I've noticed the sudden interest of my colleagues wanting to ask questions. You are entitled to it, but remember, we do not ask your nominees questions. Please temper justice with mercy. We did not. Please.
You know, from what I'm hearing, everybody. We will Abdullah Buhari, Abdul Fattah. I didn't recognize you. I only mentioned your
sorry.
name. Okay, so distinguished, you can go ahead, but please make it short, because
okay,
what Eshulogu, the speech of Eshulogu has sealed it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Has shown that she has the capacity. I mean, we will put the question, right? Okay, maybe after you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Buhari Abdul Fattah. I was eager to talk because I chair the industry committee at the head to Madam. Is number one, bank. There are about 9 agencies under industry alone, apart from trade and investment. And these 2 big agencies are going to be on. And if you see Bank of Industry, they concentrate only on the big industry. What are you going to do to help Nigerians who are just coming up that needed only small amount for their business to strive? Number 2, a lot of moribund companies in the country today. What are your plans for you to handle some of them so that they will be able to survive and increase employment rate of our youth roaming the street? Are leaving Nigeria today to the neighboring countries, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the rest. What are the plans or the incentives you are going to give to sustain most of them to stay behind, probably after we have improved electricity? And then, lastly, what is the encouragement that you are going to give our local industry to export whatever they are producing here in order for us to get more foreign exchange to sustain and help our own economy? Thank you.
Representing Niger East Senatorial District. First, like my colleagues have done, to commend Mr. President for this, especially this singular appointment. Because just as the Reverend said, a square peg in a square hole. She is. Nigeria has been diligently working under this administration to ease doing business. We have seen what has happened previously in this country. Minister of Trade and Investment, your functions, a lot of people tend to confuse it with industries. But the framework for any industry to work must have a subtle and well-defined trade and investment policies for a country to be able to get it right. You were a special advisor on the ease of doing business. You have an interaction with WTO, and I'm sure you know quite a lot of things that have been happening within our own domain, especially when it comes to do with tax waivers, tax holidays, startups incentives that usually come from Ministry of Investment or Ministry of Trade, and a lot of abuses that have been going on. In the last 5 years, Nigeria have lost close to about 17 trillion in waivers, in holidays. The policies we have in the free zones, as Minister of Investment, Trade and Investment, you will need to look at them. They should not be different from what is being practiced in other advanced economies. I know with your qualification and exposure you will turn around Ministry of Trade and Investment. You make sure that issues where waivers are just given for everything is looked into so that Nigeria can yield more. And even those companies that are running away out of Nigeria, there's a lot of capital repatriation that they are doing instead of direct foreign investment coming into this country. They are coming to take a lot out of this country. So I'm sure you will come with your experiences to make things better for this country. I congratulate you, and I believe that you are going to do the best for this country in that sector. Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Nobody want to ask a full question, but your CV says it all, quite intimidating. I'm also proud to be able to say that my daughter went to Stanford. She's a doctor, a fellow in Stanford. So I am at home with your CV. I'm also convinced that, Mr. President, your nomination is different from others. Like the Senate President said, you can have a ton of academic qualifications to teach, to be intellectually sound, different from being a doer. What makes your case compelling for me, why I don't think this Senate will have no hesitation, we should have no hesitation in confirming you, is because the President has appointed an insider who has worked with him. And therefore, I want to assume, and I believe he has done so because he's satisfied with your performance at the current level that you are serving. And I congratulate you for that. It's not hard, it's not easy to earn the trust of Mr. President, and you have earned it. Which is why I am able to ask you, therefore, what will you do differently? Mr. Senate President, you've summarized in your opening remark, you draw our attention to what many Nigerians will be expecting from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment. You reminded us of those industries that have relocated. Not that they went bankrupt. They simply relocated elsewhere. You mentioned a few of them, and I can mention several more across the country. Michelin, Dunlop, the textile sector, the rubber sector, they've all relocated. And yet, Nigeria is their key market. Now, what I was going to ask you is, and given your training, you didn't just went to WTO. You have a spell of training around trade issues. So you are truly more than a square peg in a square hole, but in a ministry that will define the success and failure of any government. Are we going to continue to export jobs and import unemployment? Or are we going to create jobs and use our population as an incentive to bring foreign investors, not only to come, but to remain here? What are we going to do to protect current investors, which for me is the best advert to attract foreign investors to come? When Senator Sani was talking, I had mixed feeling about his contribution. Because, Mr. President, sir, some of those waivers are meant to be part of the incentive. Tax holidays are meant to be part of well-thought-out incentive, because investors are greedy by nature. So you need to give them a bait to bring them in and tell them whatever profit you make for the first X number of years, you will pocket it. Those are the kind of issues. So it is not necessarily wasted, except where the application is now informed by some other consideration that might be inimical to sustainable growth and development. What can you do straight away? Can we ever get the auto industry back? You are in Lagos, and I'm sure you are not too young to remember Volkswagen. Today they make beautiful vehicles. So, is there any hope if we revise our policies that let them to vote with their feet? What kind of policy do you think we need to have in place for the automobile sectors to come back? The Volkswagen of this world, the Toyotas of this world, the Peugeot, the Mercedes-Benz, all of them that are on Nigeria roads today, they were here before. Now we consume, you will know, I'm sure as having been in the system, how many tires made by Dunlop or Michelin that are consumed in Nigeria, even after they have voted with their feet, they target us for their market. What do we do to use our population as the main instrument to bring them back? And with your knowledge of WTO, are you sure they are fair? Their rules are fair to countries that are growing. At a time when even America, as we speak today, has imposed 100% duty on cars made in China. They are the greatest proponent of free trade, but they recognize the danger of not protecting American auto industry. So to protect General Motors and all those companies in US that are manufacturing cars, particularly these electronic cars, the Chinese appear to have mastered the skill so that the way the General Motors can compete is for America to increase their duty by 100%. So what will we do as Nigeria? To say to Dunlop, you can't sell here if you don't locate here. To tell Macheli, if you left us, your brother cannot come here. Because that is the only thing we have to sell, our size. The textile industry, of course, looking at the way we dress, and Mr. Senate President, when I was a textile worker, you are an example of Nigeria consumption pattern. Our consumption per capita is higher than average in Africa, or even in the world, because of our mode of traditional dressing. One person wearing 8 meters at a stretch. Forget about my own small size of 2 feet by 2 feet. So I congratulate you. I believe you deserve to be confirmed, but I want to be educated, using the opportunity of this hearing as to how do we deal with this challenge of more companies leaving us and yet selling their goods to Nigeria. All those textile factories, Mr. President, that left, they didn't leave Nigeria alone. They just relocated. Instead of having Chinese company, now we have Chinatown. What do they sell in Chinatown? They sell all sorts of things, including substandard fabrics. But in Nigeria, they were producing high-quality fabric in Ikorodu in Lagos, since you are from Lagos State. Ikorodu is gone. Aflon is gone. President clothes, the way they were making the kind of clothes our president is wearing, gone. Not that they never went bankrupt, they relocated. So how do we bring them back? Awolowo's legacy, Nigeria Textile Mill in Ikeja, gone. What we achieved in the 60s, we have lost it in the 90s. So I am very confident that given your knowledge of trade negotiation, because trade policy is at the root of it, given your training and your experience with WTO, for which some of us are very, very critical, I got as far as China, Hong Kong, to protest against WTO, where they want to tell third world countries to dumping ground for Western goods. So I want to be educated by you. I'm not doubting your competence, but I believe that you are worth asking questions so that we can go home better informed about our future with regards to industry, trade, and investment.